What is going on, everybody? Bobby Fi, going to be flying solo for this first look. We're just going to be talking through this NFL slate a little bit. I'm sorry, the NBA slate a little bit tonight. Last night was not the desired result. It sucks when you have like 75% of a player who gets hurt and you're not going to win. So that's pretty much what it was. I think I would have been assuming that we get similar production to quickly to what he was showing. I think that I probably win a few thousand. Instead, I lose a few thousand. So that's sort of the way it goes. I'm going to go through game by game on this NBA stuff here real quick. Let me just pull up my screen. Give me a quick second. Sorry, I'm kind of scrambling because we just did an NFL video. All right, here we go. So let's talk through it and see what we got for tonight. We also will talk a little showdown a little bit later today. All right, so basically you have this real standout value here. I'm going to go game by game, but the Carrington speculation I think is worth it, especially because we have three guys that we would have rather spent up for than we did for anybody last night on a 10-gamer, and we got a 4-gamer tonight. But Luka, Jokic, and Wembanyama are very, very difficult to separate for me. So there's a way to get all three of them in. It's not the most beautiful lineup, but if they combine for 210 or 220, that could be the way to go tonight. Just throwing it out there. I think it's something I'm flirting with the idea of doing, but we'll talk about it game by game here. All right. On the Boston side, certainly don't mind Tatum here, but probably not going to make the priority list for me, at least as of right now. Kind of like this game better for Jaylen Brown. So I do think that Brown and White would be my favorite Celtics, and I wouldn't mind getting to maybe a little bit of Peyton Pritchard, play the blowout angle. But overall, I think the Celtics should control this game. But we've seen crazy things. It's the NBA, but at the same time, the Celtics team brings it all the time. And I like them quite a bit in this game. So I'm not going to go overboard with plays from here because I just love the other spend ups. So that's how I have it ranked. Holiday would come right after White for me, for what it's worth. But nobody who's quite going to make my priority list, at least not yet. On the Washington side, obviously we have Carrington. I like the value for Koulibaly. Keyshawn George, another one you could use. That's another way to get there. As of right now, I am probably going to tag him because again, like I said, I'm having a really hard time separating the three super studs tonight. So if you're going to play them, I think that using these guys, and even if you're not playing them, they're all totally viable. As far as Kuzma and Poole go, I can see Kuzma having a good game here. I can see Poole having a good game. Not quite a priority for me, either of them, but I do think that I'm considering it just in different builds. We'll run a quick build at the end of this to see what we have. You can see I've uploaded my contest, and we'll talk through that in just a minute. San Antonio side, you obviously have Sohan. I think that's another priority for me, just assuming that, he's going to, assuming that he does in fact start, and he's 4,600, plenty of minutes. I just think he does enough things on the court in a good game environment. And I think that's another value piece that we're certainly looking at tonight that I think is a pretty strong one. But let's wait to see the starting lineup before we get totally carried away with it. I also think Champagne is in play as well at 3,800. I don't think I'm going to get to any Chris Paul tonight, but it is a good game environment. I wouldn't fault anybody for doing so. Harrison Barnes back in Dallas. Yeah, maybe. Probably not for me, but it is a 4-gamer. It's time to think a little bit differently. And large field, I would consider some Stephon Castle, but I think they're going to wait a little while till they start utilizing him more. It's my guess. And then, as I mentioned, Wemby I'm going to tag all three of them because until later today, I won't know which one I'm going to go with the most. I do think that it feels like they're all such strong plays. It's really hard to separate them for me. Kyrie seems too cheap. Why is he 7,500? That seems a little bit too low. Maybe that's one way you could get a little bit, not even different, but maybe I could play the Wemby and Jokic and then use Kyrie instead of Luka. That's something that I'm certainly considering today. But I'm gonna tag Luka as of right now, and I'm big on Lively this year. So if you're not playing either Wemby or Jokic, that is the center I'm rolling with. And I'm tagging a bunch of guys. I like to whittle it down later in the day. PJ Washington and Lively, I think, are both cheap enough to consider. Jaden Hardy is somebody I'm getting to in those triple spend up builds, just because I need the value. They did sign him to an extension. He's going to get some run. Kind of interesting that Klay Thompson's not projecting a little bit better tonight. It did occur to me that maybe that's a mistake. But as of right now, I'm not going to tag him or anything like that. I just think he's an interesting play to at least consider, if nothing else. All right, let me grab my screen here so I can see if there's any questions. Nothing doesn't seem like there's anything in the chat. All right. Then we'll talk about OKC in Denver. I am not getting to like Shea is the other way. Like, again, maybe you play the secondary superstars instead of the stars to save a little bit, but you do have value out there today. So it's going to be an interesting kind of build. I'm kind of curious to see what SaberSim gives us in just a moment. But you've got Chet Holmgren, probably not going to make it for me tonight. And I mean, as far as like a priority, so I really don't have any priorities from the OKC side, but I wouldn't mind at all, obviously, getting to Shea again as a pivot from maybe one of the spend all the way ups. He's my highest level of interest. I think Jalen Williams is due for a breakout year, and we have Caruso for value. I don't love playing the Caruso value. The ceiling doesn't always get there, but this is a small enough slate where you can do it. You play he and Sohan, and then some of these other, the Carrington and all that. And I think it makes a lot of sense. I'm curious to see how the starting lineup shake out a little bit later, though. We'll get a better idea of it. And I love Jokic here, as I love Luka and as I love Wemby. I also love Jokic, and this is a big game. I'm interested to see how this one plays out. So I am high on Jokic. We've got Strother at 3,200, another value. So there's a lot of value out there that you can use to try to get these triple stud spend ups in. I think it's really, really worthwhile to consider it. The problem you're going to run into is you're going to run into duplicate type of builds. I'm not that worried on a 4-gamer, but it's still something to at least consider. Westbrook large field tournament play I think is awesome, but don't want him in anything other than that. I think this is a good game environment for him, and off the bench, I'm interested to see what he does here. Nobody else is quite making a priority for me, but I really like the Denver side in general. Murray, I might have to reconsider this one some other time, but I think I just rather play Kyrie than Murray. That's just where I'm at right now. MPJ is cheap enough to where I think we could get some value out of that 5,800. Just could be his hot shooting night, and I think that's worthwhile. But again, not quite a full-on priority, but certainly somebody I'm considering. All right, and then in terms of differentiating the type of builds you want to do, Edwards at 8,800. Look, I think it's a reasonable price. I don't think it's like anything spectacular. I think he's going to end up in the 9 to 10K range this season. Good matchup in Sacramento. These teams played some tight ones last year where Edwards had some big games. So I'm interested in Edwards. Again, he doesn't quite make the priority list for me, but I do like him quite a bit. I also like Naz Reid as a middling spend. I'm going to tag him again, just trying to get some exposure. I like DiVincenzo in this matchup quite a bit. He missed a bunch of shots on opening night. I don't think we should assume that's going to be the case again. I think he gets overlooked tonight, and I think the projection on him is too low. So I'm probably going to up his projection to at least around 25 or so. That's where I'm at anyway. All right, moving over to Sacramento. Sabonis or Fox, which one do we choose? Sabonis is pricey. Another thing you could do to get a little bit off of the triple spend up, I think that makes perfect sense. Kind of like Fox a little bit better, just to be honest. I like that it's a little cheaper. I like the lower ownership, and I think Fox is going to have another good year. DeRozan's an interesting one because I think he's being under-projected, but I don't know that I really want to still play him at 7,800 in this new situation. And then we always know Malik Monk is interesting off the bench. So I'm going to run a build and see what we've got. I uploaded my contest here just to show you guys a little bit with the new SaberSim. You enter your contest, you bulk enter. Again, I just entered one lineup of in 41 different things, but now I'll use this to sort of sort it. And let's see what they give us without doing anything. I have to actually just do two things. I'll just do this, obviously. Oops. If I just go like that, because I'm obviously going to end up with at least 5% of those guys. Let's see what we get, and then we'll run the contest sims. And for what it's worth, guys, the contest sims are going to be one will be out on the alley-oop, and 40 will be for the fadeaway. So that's the sim you're getting for this specific build. Let's see what we've got in just a moment. And don't forget to late swap using this SaberSim stuff. It's really a way to get ahead. Last night it didn't matter for me because I had too much of the quickly and obviously got hurt in the second quarter. But I do think this is a really, really, you have a nice window here to update after these first two games. Should end, the San Antonio Dallas game should end right before the OKC Denver and Minnesota Sacramento. And I would like to do the late swapping tonight. So I'm definitely going to be using SaberSim for that. Let's see what they're giving us in terms of exposure. We'll take a look real quick, and then we will probably get out of here shortly after that. Anybody has any questions or thoughts, go ahead and do it. By the way, I want to mention the bets went 5-0 last night. The bets have been unbelievably on fire this year. Let's keep it going tonight. On fire the last couple of years. NBA, I believe it's like my edge score is like 62.5 now, a little higher actually on Better Takes. Also a reminder, download the Better Takes app. But all right, let's see what we got. All right. So yeah, they locked in Carrington, excuse me, and locked in Luka. Okay. I don't know that I want to go full on lock with Luka, but I certainly do. I mean, look, I just like the other ones better. So I'm wondering how much Wemby we got to. Only, let's see, 7% and 44% Jokic. I get it. My prediction is by the end of the year, Wemby's going to be if he's not number one, it'll be one of these, it'll be Luka, Jokic, Wemby, and probably Giannis competing for the fantasy player of the year, basically. But yeah, so you can see they were a little lower on Wemby. I love Wemby. I want to be just playing him all the time. I think he is an 11K player. Actually, I think he might be a higher one. I think these guys might all be 12,000 in no time. So maybe playing them at 11K or 10.7 when we can is a pretty good idea. So that's sort of what you're getting for the first build. Let's take a look at what else we got just in terms of exposure. Oh, did I run? I'm an idiot. I didn't run the sim. Let's run the sim and then redo this thing. Give me 1 minute here. So yeah, so it's going to run this in for the alley-oop and for it does it automatically now. So if you upload your contests, that's how you get your sim. And then you can sort by unique rank or unique random. I think it's a little bit more valuable to do those for like 2-game slates or showdowns, but I think you could certainly argue for it here as well. Let's see what we got. And I'm curious to see how much is going to change. I think it's going to change quite a bit based on this. So let's give it a minute. And we should be good any minute here. Let's go. And we'll see what we got. And then all you have to do, just so you guys know, we talked about it a little bit in Discord yesterday, but if you didn't want to do it in the alley-oop, you just want to do it here, you could just uncheck and check it. You know what I mean? Do it that way. But it's going to build you the best possible lineup and factoring everything in for all of those. So actually now it's taken away. Now it's just going, it's got 41. Wow, it should be 41. Okay, and it'll just automatically update. Yeah, so it's still getting 100% Carrington, all the Sohan, Luka 75%, Jokic 46%. And I'm curious where we ended up with Wemby. Wemby is only getting to 12% on the first run. I'm going to tweak some things around and see where I'm at, and I'll update you guys a little bit later today on what I'm going to be doing. Wish everybody a good day. It's a small slate and a very, very manageable 4-gamer, but it is a really fun 4-gamer with 3 excellent games. One game that I could care less about, the Washington and Boston game. So anyway, good luck to everybody. Give us a like. Reminder, we do have the promo code 25% off your first month using promo code NBA25. Also NBA yearly, caps case sensitive, but 10% off for yearly subscriptions. Just want to remind everybody, we're charging just, with the code and everything, we're actually charging less than SaberSim for this incredible product. We have all the Sheets projections, Goldie's projections, all of my content, all of Rody's content, Brandon Cruz for NASCAR and showdowns. But yeah, I'm Sheets hasn't uploaded his projections yet today, but usually you just scroll to the end, you get Goldies and Sheets. And one way to get different is and that I like to do, especially because Sheets' projections have been unbelievable, is I'll often just go to my projections and you can just incorporate Goldies or Sheets right away. It'll get your builds a little bit different than what the other people from Sabres who have SaberSim are getting. So it's just something to keep in mind. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you guys at 6 Eastern for NBA, 6:30 Eastern for NFL. And let's make some money tonight. Let's stop the injury bug. How about that? How about no more injuries? I had everybody injured on Sunday. 6 out of my top 10 guys in football, and yesterday I had quickly in like 75% of my lineups, and just didn't work out well. All right, good luck to everybody.